All right, hi everybody. Hello. Welcome to the stream. I hope everyone's doing well. I have been away for 2 weeks and forget how to work computers or talk to humans in general. So if I don't know what I'm talking about, that's why. Today, we're going to be reviewing Gutenberg 17.6, which was released January 31st. If you want to follow along at home, you can do so right here at that linkaroo. Go have a look, check it out. Yeah, so what do we got happening here? Let's just dive right into it, I guess. Yeah, I'll review this, and then I've got some, I don't know, there's a lot of fun things coming. 6.5, which is going to be released after WordCamp Asia, middle of March, I think. Yeah, so let's get into it. Let's look at this. So Gutenberg 16.7 released on January 31st of this year. This is a really big one. The new block JSON allowed. There's a filter that we have access to that we can filter the blocks that are allowed inside of another block. So what this means is now we can forever, we used to not be able to add more blocks inside the navigation block, and now we can. Now we can filter, add whatever we want to it. So I have a little demo here. I can show you the code for it actually. I don't need that. I'm in Obsidian, right? What am I doing? What am I doing? Like this. So all I'm doing here is make sure this still works. So there's a filter on blocks that register block type is the name of our filter. And yeah, so we're going to check to see if the block name is core navigation. If it is, we're going to spread settings across the object, and then we're going to add some more allowed blocks in here. So there are a list of allowed blocks, which I can show you. There's console.log, settings.allowed blocks. You can see what's allowed now. And so we just come in here. So I'm just going to go ahead and add a navigation block in here. We'll show it. So if I inspect my thing in here, I'm going to zoom that in because not a single human could probably read that. Let's try this again. Did that not work? Did that not work? Maybe I have it on the wrong hook. I was messing around. There we go. So if you look, these are the allowed blocks that are in there now. So what I want to do is I want to be able to add an avatar. I like to have, like in my menu, if I had a login, log out thing, maybe I want to have the avatar block show up in there. So what I've done is I've taken the existing allowed blocks and I've added them back into the allowed blocks array. If it's null, then it's just going to be an empty array. But then I want to add the core avatar block. So now what that means is when I come in here and I add a block, add this block, I can now find the avatar block in there, and you couldn't do that before. So this is a simple example, but it's also very, 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 very powerful because now you can put any custom block you want in there. So if you like mega menus, this is for you. In fact, my good friend, colleague, brother from another mother, Nick Diego, is working on a really cool demo of a mega menu that I don't know if he has it out and running yet, but yeah, that's that. So yeah, cool. So that's the first big one. So the sky is the limit for what you can do with this. Next, site editor, post editor unification. So I've been adding a lot of things in here to kind of get the two editor, the two editors kind of like unified. So it's the same interface. It's actually quite nice. So there is a lot going on with the interactivity API. So it says here also the interactivity API and fonts library have received a big refactor. These are getting close to 6.5 release, so it's a great time to test them. Go and test this stuff. It is so cool. So darn cool. I need to test something. Speaking of testing something, stand by. I need to see something here. Interesting. All right. Oh, the Lup is here. He's joined. Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. I was just like, is anyone here? It's just me and my bots today, but it's me and my bots and the Lup, and I love you, the Lup. God, my jokes are horrible. They're getting more and more like dad jokes every day. Hey, Jay Slay, nice name. How you doing? Good to see you. Cool. So the interactivity API is something that I'm going to be focusing on a lot in the coming weeks. It is so cool, and the stuff that we can do with it is really, really cool. So there's some new directives. If you're not familiar with what the directive is, I can kind of explain it a little bit. So in the interactivity API, what you do is you add these things called directives, and they tell, and this on the server side, there is this really neat tool called the HTML tag processor that finds these little attributes and adds things to them. So these directives. So these directives are how you would add interactivity to your blocks. And so they're adding more. We have some on window, on document, which I haven't played around with yet. These handle global events like scroll, key press, load, ready, etc., which is really cool because you could do things like have your block scroll into view and all that. There's list rendering. There's I don't know what this is. Data run. To execute custom logic while rendering an element with directives. Interesting. I haven't played with that one yet, but that'll be cool. Footnotes available for custom post types. That's pretty cool. Supports the following custom field and revisions. Okay, neat. Well, that's good to know. So if you want to add footnotes to your custom post types, it's now possible. Let's take a quick look at the changelog. I don't know. AJ, did you see the demo I did on the allowed blocks filter, which is super cool? If you did not, go back in time 5 minutes and see that. But basically what it allows you to do is add blocks to the allowed block setting for every block, which is a big deal because, for example, the core navigation block, we were never able to add custom things to it. It was a hard-coded list. That is no longer the case. So it makes adding things like an avatar block very, very easy. And any block you want, to be honest. Okay, cool. Changelog feature, interactivity API. Okay, we kind of talked about this. This I'm very excited about. So the interactivity API is an API allows you to add interactivity to blocks, but also there's like the ability to do client-side navigation. So you can do full page like SPAs, all that sort of stuff with the interactivity API. And I want to come up. There's a great demo. Which I don't. There's a great demo of that here. Let me just see if there's a live link for it. Where's the live link? Is that it? Oh, and I'm downloading. I don't want to download it. Where is it? There should be a. Oh, here it is. So this is the link. If you want to check this out, I'll drop it in the chat here. And so this, if you notice, as you navigate through, we're not actually getting a page load. It's changing the URLs, but it's not actually loading pages, which is awesome. Because if you want to do something like this, and you want to play the trailer, you can see the trailers. You can't see that because I have to move my face. The trailer's down here, and it'll keep playing. I'm gonna just turn the volume on so it doesn't blow my head off. And then as you click through, it's still working. So this is like a React application-ish sort of thing, single page app. We have stayed across pages. If you like things, you can see that the like numbers appear. Whatever. If we like all these movies, and this is all done with the interactivity API, which is super cool. And so that's something that I haven't personally played with yet, but I'm really, really excited to do a demo of that in the coming weeks, I think. Very much so. Typography, default font sizes, added the theme JSON. That's cool. Get fonted function. Okay. Block bindings. Block bindings are really cool. So we have the beginnings of block bindings and coming in 6.5 that allows you to basically connect like a paragraph tag to a piece of post meta, for example. It's a limited amount of blocks that can do it. I believe right now you can do the paragraph tag, the paragraph block, the heading block, I think, and then there's the image block will handle it too. So that means that some of your more simple meta is easier to connect. Like you don't need to build a custom block just to show a simple piece of meta. If you just want to have a string, a status, for example, and show it in a paragraph block, you can do that, and it's actually quite straightforward. Yeah, pretty straightforward. But we'll have to get into that a little bit later. I'm just going to get through this. Maybe we'll jump back into block bindings or interactivity API, depending on what y'all want to do. So we got some effects, block shadow tools added to block inspector. That's cool. Enhancements to components. Opt in for 40 pixel default size for. Okay. Replace style picker. Toggle group. Okay. Toggle picker. Replace tabs with tab panel with tabs. And the other. This is nice. The new tabs one's component's a lot nicer. I think it's a lot more accessible as well. Interactivity event. Render the root and interactive blocks. Interactive replace navigation with data region. The scope. These are the asynchronous operations. Prevent the use of text components. WP text. Remove blah blah blah. Update. Okay, a lot of stuff going on there. Block editor. Copy. There's nothing in here that seems. I mean, this is all great stuff, but there's nothing here that's like, whoa, we gotta check on. Footnotes. Yep. Block copy. Blah, blah, blah. Data views is getting better and better and better. I think the data views are going to be used by default. If you go into, I think your templates, manage your templates, manage all templates. Yeah, so this is your data views, which is neat because I think you can change the layout. Let's go like a, sorry, nope, that was weird. List, I'm going to set it to grid. You have this sort of, is it a preview? Yeah, it's a preview. So this is a preview of all of your templates now, which is very nice. This is very, very, very nice because I mean, I don't know about you, but when I create templates, I don't remember what they look like or what they're called or anything. So that's a cool thing. So data views are very, very cool. This is going to be sort of, I believe the intention with these data views is to replace all the admin screens eventually, but we're starting, I think, with the templates, and I think now you can manage pages. Come back into pages, manage all pages. Yeah, so we still have that same. So this is the data view, the data views project as well. Okay, what's next? Right. And mechanic. Oh, nice. Thanks. I'm really glad you were able to attend. It was a fun one. That it's actually up on YouTube now, so I will drop a link in here for the WordPress. Where is it? Developer hours? Shh, stop telling me your name. So this is the developer hours. So go in here and check it out. So this was like not an introduction to JavaScript, but it was sort of like modern JavaScript block stuff, right? No, not even block stuff. So I mean, it's stuff that you would use probably every day as a block developer, a theme developer. Little fun tools like object destructuring, which is something I love. I nerd out about it. I honestly, I try to see how deep I can get it in with my nested curly braces and stuff. Oh, David Guire, resub. Thank you, David. You sneaky little vixen, just sneaking in here and subbing. Thanks, man. I appreciate you. Yeah, I personally think that we need some more stuff like that. Not necessarily from me, but just in the community in general. Like we always talk about the latest and greatest, and I drop something on the floor. All the really cool stuff that's out there and that you can work on and the bleeding edge. But then, you know, I feel sometimes like we leave a certain group kind of behind because it's, you know, if you haven't written a lot of JavaScript, or, you know, it's really hard to kind of understand what's happening. And the syntax is weird in cases. Like, I don't know if you've ever written like a generator function with an asterisk and a yield and that stuff. Like, it took me a long time. Yeah, WP flavored React. I think that's a fantastic follow-up. Understanding the parts of React that you need to know to work with blocks. That'd be great. I'm going to pitch that as a dev hours because I think it's a great idea. You don't need to know everything about React, but you need to understand certain things. Just like you don't need to know, and people are going to be like, what? No, you need to know everything. But I mean, to work with PHP and WordPress, you don't need to know every single feature of the whole language. You need to know what you need to know to get it done, right? And I mean, if you want to learn more, you should, and it's great. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. WP flavored React. I'm going to call it that. React flavored no, WP flavored React's better. I'm trying to change it and make it mine, but it's yours, M mechanic. Anyways, I'm off my soapbox. Let's continue. Sorry. Site editor, group to place inside list. Initial routing refactoring. Unify. Tracking down rogue renders in React is meh, annoying. It is. It is. I think honestly, David, I think knowing like what causes a render. Like, you know what I have never seen? I shouldn't say never. Do you know what I rarely see in block code is something like use memo or use callback, which for the React folks in the room is a way that you can ensure that your stuff doesn't re-render, right? Like it doesn't allocate new memory, if I'm understanding correctly. It doesn't allocate new memory for that function that you're using every time. And I hear that that's a very important thing. So I don't know, maybe it doesn't help. You know, I know that a lot of blocks in Gutenberg in general does do a lot of re-renders, but just understanding what causes a re-render and why, it's great. And that leads into use effect and knowing when to use certain things and dependency arrays and all that fun stuff. I'm gonna put myself back over here because I think that's a better layout. Okay, block bindings. What do we got? Update source registration syntax and remove APIs that should be private. Okay. Block hooks, do not remove toggle hook block as present. All right. Really excited about block bindings. I think it's going to take. In its current state, I don't think it's going to replace things like ACF, but it's going to make doing some simpler things a lot easier. Let's put it that way for now. But this is very early, very early. I mean, it's gonna be hot stuff. Okay, sync patterns. What do we got? Use a patch on patterns. Add an image block support pattern overrides. Outline editable blocks. Oh my god, you guys are boring me. Just kidding. Post editor, post lock, use new modal size preset. Okay. Description, font library, update the collection data URL tools. Okay. Minor tweak command, tweak extensibility. Update navigation block to render hooked inner blocks. Get text and get template, new APIs. Block binding. Block bindings API. Add block bindings PHP registration mechanism with post meta source under experimental flag. Cool. So with block bindings, you define a source. And Justin Tadlock has got a really great article that he's working on for the dev blog. Spoiler alert. That was going to get into block bindings pretty deep, and it's really cool. Really cool. Who dat? Colorful tones. Just follow. Colorful tones? I know you. If I know you, give me a thumbs up in the chat, Colorful. I'm pretty sure I know who you are. It starts with a D. Hey, Damon. Good to see you, man. Welcome to the stream. Awesome. It's all right if you prefer I didn't call your name out, let me know. But otherwise, I'll share with the viewers who you are and how we know each other. Anyways, all good. It's Damon, my man Damon. We worked together at 10 Up for a little while, I think, right, Damon? And then now you're over at WP Engine. Is that right? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for hanging out with us. Yes, awesome. Anyways, okay, block library. So avatar block fix broken alignments in the editor. Bed block. Okay, these are just mostly bug fixes. But update navigator block feature gate components. The bug fixes are awesome, but they're great to have, but there's nothing in here that I see anyways that jumps out at me. It's like, oh my lord, we have to talk about that. Okay. Templates, API, site editor accessibility, performance. Oh, this is great. Lots of performance stuff. Where else are you live? Where else am I? Daryl is asking from YouTube. Where else am I live? I'm live on Twitch. Which is my primary, so I'm gonna drop the link in here, Daryl, and you're welcome to come join us in Twitch if that's what you're into. But you're also welcome to hang out on YouTube, which is why I'm streaming. And I'm not streaming on Twitter right now. We talked about block bindings briefly, David, but I haven't shown any demos yet. It's still, there's no UI for it. You can do it, you add it through your, like you have to go into the editor and do it that way. I can show you a demo. I'll show you a demo after this with something that I'm working on, if I can do it correctly. Bunch of performance stuff. Block editor. Hook instead of HOCs for editor notices. Yeah, that's yep. That's he's gonna be the de facto expert at this point. He knows. He's doing some really cool stuff with like image block and registering custom sources. So when you have a block binding, it has to have a source registered. By default, I think there's two sources registered by default, if I'm not mistaken. One is obviously post meta, and one is, I think, patterns. I'm not sure how the patterns part works yet, but Justin will absolutely be able to educate us all on it. Okay, so experiments, data views, lots going on with the data views. I think the data views are super cool. I'm quite excited with them, of them, about them, around them, for them. I don't know, words. Remove all. Notice the dispatch. Okay. Lots of documentation fixes. This is great. Code quality components. Man, there's a lot of changes in here. I think for the next couple of releases, which I don't actually know which version. I don't know what the last version of Gutenberg is going to be. That's in 6.5. I don't know if this one is, or maybe the next one. I can look it up real quick. Remove the experimental flag. Block bindings are no longer experimental, which is really cool. So they got rid of the slot and fill directives, but I don't know if you need them or not. In the interactivity API. Okay. Cool. Testing. Man, there's a lot of stuff. So first time contribs. Anyone? No? Don't know any of them. Now let's see. Is anyone from the stream on here? I love doing this because if you're on here and I don't know you're watching, and yell, give me a whatever, a thing. Use words. A warning service that a block requires an index.sspp file. It was updated. Oh, nice. Was that? Where was that? That's a pretty cool one. Yeah. Rich. Mofis, hey, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Mo's joining us from YouTube, so for those on Twitch, you can't see him saying hi. So hello, Mofis. I'm gonna say it like that. Okay. Anyways, Aki, you're not on here, are you? You usually hang out with us, so he's right here. But it's not. He like contributes. He builds Gutenberg like all by himself. So that's how he rolls. We got the heavy hitters in this group. Oh, there's Birgit. Okay. Cool. Aki is very awesome. Awesome. Okay, well that's 16.7, which is super exciting. So, question for the group. Do you want me to look at block bindings really quick? Or should I look at the interactivity API really quick? Get that over. Anyone? Bueller. Cool. All right. Well, let's just see. I'm just looking for a snippet that someone gave me. I gotta find. There we go. Okay. So if you want to look at some suggestions for how the let's look at block bindings really quick. So here's a great example from my man Justin. And what we need for this is we're going to need to have some kind of post meta registered. Yeah, why not both, right? Why not both? So let's do that. So what do I got going on here? I think I've got a theme that has some post meta registered. So we're going to go themes. Come on, where's my Twitchy? Is it this one? This one activate? Yeah. So okay, I've got streams here. So what I'm going to do is in my editor, I'm going to go into my templates. I'm going to get my single. Do I have a? What do I have going on here? Do I not have a single post? I think I need to have, I need to add a single stream template for all streams. Okay. So yeah, sure. Let's use that. So, okay. So what I'm going to want to do, and this is an ugly theme. In fact, it's so ugly, I don't think I want to use it. I'm going to jump over to my Block Developer Cookbook theme that I'm working on. And I think this is going to be the ones that I want. Okay, CD, you can put it there. CD to oops. Yeah, and I'm going to go DP env start, and I'm going to just, oh, not that. DP env start. And all that builds up. So what you have to have is you have to make sure that your post meta is registered, and it's available in the REST API, right? And that is sort of okay. So let's see. We got this. There we go. So let's look at this individual recipe. We're going to go to this recipe. So this is my block, right? Let me just get logged in here. Admin password. Okay, so I'm going to go into my editor. JMS Sir, right now we're looking at block bindings, which is a new API that'll be coming in 6.5. We just kind of went through 17.6, which kind of gets us into that stuff. Single recipe. So let's go into my post in here. So what I want to do, so here I've got this custom block. It's one that I wrote specifically for this particular thing, right? And the whole point of this block is to show a particular piece of post meta, right? And same with this, like prep time is 10 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in here, I'm just going to add another, we're going to add this content, whatever. I will add it, title, row. I'm going to add it just underneath. I'm going to add paragraph block, test, okay, and make sure it's where I want it to be. It is. So then I have to come into, code editor, and I got to find that paragraph block, which is right here. And now the binding, to activate the binding, what you want to do is you're going to want to grab all this metadata. Now it's a bit ugly, so I'll actually maybe I'll expand it like a little like that. So you can see we've got metadata, we've got bindings, we've got content, and then we've got source, args with a comma. And then we've got key. All right. Oops. Just want to make this a bit more readable. So that's sort of what we have to do. So we're adding the metadata thing, metadata attribute or property. We're telling it the bindings. Now the bindings are for the content property of this block, because it's a paragraph block. If you were to insert a paragraph block dynamically, you can actually add the content property or attribute, I should say, and that will show that's where the content's stored. So we're saying that the binding is for content, and the source of this binding is from core post meta, and the args, the key is not mood. In this case, it's going to be I think it's time, right? So that I should just be able to do this. Right, I'm just gonna get that out of there, copy that, jump back over in here, and on my paragraph, I just need to do that. And let me just double check the example in here. Okay, and I'm going to take this out, right, and then I'm going to exit the code editor, and I'm going to see that, so it says time there. That's actually correct. So if I hit save, right. So this, I didn't put that in there. Now, can I kind of look at this? If I go and I look at a single recipe, we should see, so I've got this time here. Now, that's broken. I don't know why, but that's broken. Is that right? Let's see. Edit site. No, not edit site. Edit post. So this should be, so the time to complete is 15 minutes, right? And then when I look at this, you can see that that's showing there. So we could build stuff like this, right? Like so that's super duper simple, like super easy. And so what this allows you to do is we can build out a lot more complicated stuff in here, right? Like so I could have a group block in there. I could add icons. I can do whatever I want in there, and I can build this out. So I wanted to rebuild this. What does this block look like? Let's see. What does their block look like? Where is my block? So in my blocks, I've got cooking time, which is right here. The render is basically a div with a P, a span, and just like that. So we could do something very similar by nesting some things. Although you can't put anything inside of a P tag or a paragraph tag, can you? So I'd have to build this out slightly differently, but there's no reason why I couldn't add that little thing in there. Right, can I do that? What happens if I do that? I think it's gonna break it. Let's see. I actually don't know what this is gonna do. No, that's exactly what it's gonna do. Okay, we're gonna undo that. So I can go back into the block editor or the code editor down in here in my P tag. I'm gonna add another P tag maybe. Let's do it like this. So in front of this, we're gonna insert a paragraph and we'll just put that in there. And then if I drop that inside it, put a group, a row block, back in here and put this stuff inside the row, put that there, and put that there. So you can see we're already starting to build this out just with core blocks, and then I'd have to put like what a time remaining or whatever. That's strange that is not. Have I broken this thing? No, 15 minutes is right there. Cool. Yep, you can also register a custom binding source. So, yeah, you can absolutely do that. And I think Justin is doing that with some things. There's some PHP filters on the that you can use. Like he was telling me that in his example for the image block that he's working on, and I don't want to spoil it too much because it's pretty much mind blowing. But he has to fill it because like when you store a when you insert an image block, it's based on ID, I think. And then what you want to do is you want to have it return the URL. So to answer your question, I think you can probably set a custom binding source from Unsplash or something like that. But we'll have to see. So that's very simple in a nutshell. Very, very, very simple how block bindings work. As my understanding of it is. Okay, so the interactivity API. So this site that I'm working on right now is basically, this is a bit of a vote. It's a voting system that I'm doing a workshop at Working at Beijing this year, and this is going to be part of the first 5 minutes. Is we're all going to sit down and we're going to vote on the recipes that we want to work through as a group, and as we work through them. We'll do that, and then I've actually got a results page in here so you can see the voting and how everything works, right? It's going to be based on, and this shows you your face, and I have to get rid of that because I have to get rid of that. Anyways, so, but this is all built using the interactivity API. So this is a block that, they're all blocks. This is not one particular, this is the query loop block. Let me show, actually it's the advanced query loop block that I use, so I can do a bit more complicated things. But this time remaining block, its sole purpose is to keep track of how much time you have and how much time is remaining as you're voting. Because each one of these recipes has a certain amount of time associated with it, ballpark, right? And then so that's it. And so when you click add this recipe, it adds it to the time. So we could take a look at this, the way that I've sort of built this out. So let me do that. Let me just get rid of. Ooh, get out of here. I don't want that. I'll save. Be gone. Gonna cd themes. No, WP content themes. Chef kiss and then PM start just in case I need a build. So okay, let's look at the blocks. So the time remaining block is probably the most complicated one. So when you register the block, you have to add this supports to it to indicate that yes, you indeed are using the interactivity API, right? And then the rest of the stuff is all what you can, what you would normally add, right? This is also important. So view script. We all know and love view script. That's how we enqueue a script on the front end for a block. Well, for the interactivity API, we're using modules on the front end, not enqueues in the same way. So if we look, I've actually never looked for this. Let's. Oh. That's interesting. It literally didn't happen until a second ago. Register what's calling the defensive file. Oh. Stand by. Sorry. This is because I ran the build. I did it wrong npm. Run start blocks. This is my setup issue. That's it. Right? Okay, so this should work again. There we go. So if I look in here, and I'm actually kind of intrigued to understand. So if I go module. Module preload. Whatever. Oh, there we go. So these are the modules. So it when we enqueue it as a module type, right? So that's how it's being added, and so the interactivity API works with that. And I before I start to explain or try to explain why I think I need to understand it a little bit better. So we're just gonna move on. We're just gonna pretend like we know why we have to use the modules and stuff. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, so this is new. It's so new that actually the schema doesn't know about it apparently. So this is going to say I want the view file, which is what we would use ViewScript for in the past. I want to load this as a module, right? And we need to load this as a module. So if we look at the edit state for this block is exactly the same way as you would do it. The interactivity API doesn't exist inside the block editor. Like in the edit state, we're not doing anything with that yet. So this block in general just shows a very simple, just basically a preview of what it's going to look like. And then the index is the same as it would be. The render.php is where things get fun. I'm pulling the duration from the post meta of this particular post that this sits on. So just so you understand the structure, the conferences all have. I have to clean that up because it's ugly. But excuse me. So the conferences all have available time, and so that's where that post meta is coming from. So we're gonna retrieve the duration. We're gonna give this thing a unique ID. We're gonna get the conference term name. So this is how I'm handling voting. I'm taking the user from the get current user ID, and I'm getting the conference and the post ID, and then so this is the conference term name. And then there's an underscore in here, and basically I'm getting all the terms that have the user ID with this conference ID, and then I'm going to be doing something with that. And then this is the selected recipes for everything. Look at the assign, have posted. I need to go through all this, but this is the interactivity part. So this WP interactive state, interactivity state. This creates the state, the default state for this. So I've got the duration. I've got the assigned value, which I'm getting here, right? And then I've got allowed value, which is the duration. I've got voting open, which is like you can vote, you can't vote. Selected recipes is the list of recipes that have been selected for you as a user, for the person viewing it, right? So this is storing a ton of stuff in this sort of like state, and this is the name of my store for it, Chef Kiss, which is a fantastic name. Time assigned, conference, the ID, term, conference term name, and so on and so forth. And then I am adding this WP data interactive, which I may need to actually change this, but this tells it the namespace of the store, which matches this. Then I have this watch thing going on, which is like a use effect, which I'll talk about callbacks to the state dot and all that in a second. And so these things here are all the directives that I was talking about. So we have data WP watch, which is basically, like I said, like a use effect that's going to watch this watch time thing, pretty much. everything in state is time assigned. So this value, this text is bound to this value. So as the value updates, so right now the value is 85. But if I start removing these recipes, that text value gets updated to reflect the watch time thing, right? Got to drop. Big Sean, thanks Ryan. Thank you, Damon. Good seeing you. And this text is bound to the total duration, and that's how we get these things in here. Right? So that's a very, very simple directive. So what this does is on the server side, it's going to read all this and it's going to replace this stuff with the values. And then the JavaScript side is where the updates come from. And that's where this data WP watch comes in. So we jump into the Vue.js file. We've got, we're importing our store. We're going to get our state out of the store, which is the same name that we created for the front end or for the back end. And we're going to get, we're creating some getters. So this is get the total duration, get the time assigned, get the conference ID, and then this callback inside of callbacks, callbacks.watchtime, which corresponds to here, callbacks.watchtime. What that's doing is that's checking to see is state, if state assigned is greater or equal to state duration, we're going to set the state of voting open to false. And that's how you can get, I don't know if this will get there, but if I get more, I need more recipes. Oh, that's broke. I have to fix that. Clearly, I have to fix that. Because what's supposed to happen here is I'm not supposed to be able to add recipes that would put me over the time. So something's going on. I gotta fix that. But that's the plan. And then when voting is closed, you are not able to vote anymore. Right? So you shouldn't be able to vote anymore if we're over there. So I had to fix something. Oh, great. Okay. There you go. So I broke that. And then in the vote button, it's the same idea. Is this using interactivity? Yeah. So this is the same idea. So the vote button, again, I'm using the interactivity API. I'm using the Vue module to get the Vue script in. In my render, I'm creating some state here. So my state is going to be the button CTA, right? Which is the add recipe. Then I've got some context. So the difference between state and context, you can think it like context is like it's context to this particular component. Or is this particular thing, and what I'm doing is I'm getting the context of this particular button, so whether or not it's disabled is a thing, right? So in here I've got disabled is going to be set to false by default. We're setting a bunch of things in here. So this is the add CTA, this is remove CTA. We're going to get the current user, and then on click there's this actions.vote. So under Vue.js. We get some state in here. We can get button CTA is selected, or actually with this vote. So in here, I'm getting the context from this store, and in the context, I'm getting time, recipe ID added, and user from the context, which is actually past. Wait, sorry, where am I here? Yeah, so because I have it here. All that context is available to this item because it's a child of this particular component, or sorry, this div element. I keep losing my vote. There we go. Right, so I'm getting time, recipe ID added, whether or not it's been added, user, and context. And if added is true, if added is false. Oh, sorry. If it hasn't been added yet, we're gonna add the number to the assigned. We're gonna remove the number from the allowed value, and then we're gonna push this onto the list of selected recipes. Otherwise, we're gonna do the opposite, remove all that stuff. And then what I do is I actually I hit a custom REST endpoint that triggers the vote, saves the vote as a term. So if you look in if we look in here, I can go to conferences. I can see. Is it recipes? Maybe it's recipes. Oh yeah, it's saving it on recipes. So you can see I've got all these votes saved for each recipe. So I can say, well, this is user 1 from conference 9 and recipe 39. So I'll be able to track the most amount of views, or the highest voted, and all of that stuff, right? yeah, so that's just that's hitting that, and then if it works, we're going to add it to the added, and then so on and so forth. This can be added is what I need to fix, I think, because this can be added is what defines whether or not the button is enabled or not. Right? So content. So if the recipe includes, if it includes this, then it's going to be context of time state. This is the logic that I have to fix, because what this should be saying is like if there is not enough time to add the recipe, disable the button. That's basically what I want to do, and this doesn't seem to be working. So where does can be added happen in here? Init watch can be added. So let's build it. Let's see what we can do here. So we're going to say console. So can be added. Let me see where this runs. Console.log running. Can be added. Okay. So let's get into here. Over here somewhere. What am I doing? Okay. Cool. I'm gonna view this. Refresh this. Okay. So if I remove that, it's running. Can be added. Okay. So I'm gonna do this. Okay, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna set this to true. Just make sure this I can get in here somehow, right? Okay, cool. So anything that's not been added, which are these ones, is grayed out. That's what I want. So if it's been added, we don't want it grayed out, right? So, so in here, I'm gonna do console. There's been a lot of changes to the API since I started building this, and I've had to refactor some of it, so I'm wondering if maybe some of my directives aren't the correct ones. So let's see, I'm gonna say what context of time is, and state allowed value. Let's see what that is. Maybe there's a problem there. 90. Oh, I'm using the wrong value. Okay, so it's not allowed value that I want. It would be assign, no. So allowed value is the float. So what if so then I have to say assign. So what if I did, okay, so if I go allowed value subtract state dot assigned. So this should show me what is left. Right, so there's 25 left. Okay, so if I remove this now, I should have 65 left. That's not right. 155? What the? Somebody do it. Somebody trigger that thing. That's not right. What's the allowed value? So allowed value is 90. And what's the state dot assigned? Assigned is 10. That's right. That's right. What's the 45? So this, okay. What is the first one? Context. Oh, the context of time for that button that I pressed. No, that's not right. Console log time allowed assigned. So okay, so this one there's 45 minutes left. Okay. Okay, so now you should be able to say What? This math is hard. I can say remaining, right? State allowed. Is that weird? Is that weird? That's not weird. Okay, so let's do this. So time is 45, allowed is 90, because the remaining is 30. Okay, so what I need to do then is I need to say is that not what I just did? That's so weird. Okay, so is cont is greater than the remaining time, right? Disabled. So context.time is greater than the allowed value. Subtract that. Okay, I don't need that. So this should make one of these. There we go. So I get that, and I get that back. Alrighty. So that means there's not enough left. Okay. Okay, cool. So I don't need any more of these console logs. So that is what I want to have happen. That's why it wasn't working. Okay. So now the other thing, yeah, that's right. Okay, cool. Cool. What? Okay. Any math is hard. It's very hard, especially hard when you're just back from vacation. That's an excuse. I'm bad at math at the best of times. Oh, and Tally Dobkin says, Ryan, you can be listened to and smile every minute. Oh, that is very nice. I appreciate you. Thank you. And Anatoly, am I saying that right? Appreciate you very much for hanging out. Yeah, cool. So what was I saying? Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that's working now. The other thing is this is another block. So if I remove this recipe, it shows and hides there. I feel like that's smaller than it should be. But anyways, and I'll show you how I've done that. How can I do that? So the hat, it's a hat, and I probably didn't need to build a whole block out of this thing, to be honest. In fact, I'm learning that, like, everything doesn't have to be an interactive block. But, so the block, again, like I said, we're supporting interactivity. We have the view module, and basically this is a very simple one. What we're going to do is check to see if it's selected. So is selected is state.selected recipes includes in this context of the recipe, and then in here, what I'm doing is binding. So I have a context that is selected, and it starts out as false because I wanted it to be sure that it wasn't highlighted. I didn't want it to show up and then hide. So this is the default value, right? So I'm binding this hidden attribute. Now this is actually very important, because what you can do with this, let me zoom that in a little bit. You can bind any attribute. So this is just a hidden attribute, right? This could also be the disabled attribute. This could also be the whatever. I can't think of an attribute right now. An ID, like whatever, right? You can bind it to that stuff. And so what I'm doing is I'm binding this attribute to whatever the value of context.selected is. So is selected is going to be set to false. So hidden needs to be the opposite of that, right? So if it's false, if it's selected, if it's not selected, which means it's false, it needs to be true hidden, So maybe I should be like is hidden, just do it that way. And then it's the inverse logic. Maybe I'll do that. So we set the thing as is hidden, right? I'm going to set this to true, and then I can just say context is hidden, right? So the hidden value is going to be is hidden, and then so that's going to be the default state. So if we select this, you can see that, like, oh yeah, look, nothing's hidden because it's all hidden. And so now I got to go into my watch. So my watch is in my callbacks in the Vue.js file. So in here, I'm going to say context is hidden. So anywhere, like somewhere, I'm going to have basically like reverse logic, right? So the context is hidden is going to be if it doesn't include. It should work. But is there like an opposite? JavaScript doesn't include array. Is there an opposite? Or do you just go? index of. Okay, so it's the same idea. So I just said it does an array, so I'm just gonna keep that. So I kind of like this better because the is hidden. This doesn't have that sort of inverse logic thing, which is kind of weird. Anyways, I mean, it's personal preference. It's gonna work. So as you're sort of removing things and hiding things, it's adding back on. Right? I have to get rid of that this avatar thing. Yeah, and those are the what you call it? The interactive blocks. Now, what I really like about this is that I have like what one, two, three blocks. Cooking time? I don't think. No. And the results is not. It's just a. Anyways, so I have 3 blocks that I can place anywhere, and they all talk. They can all talk to each other. They all get access to the same store because I'm using the same name across my store. And it's so cool. I love that. So because like if you were to build this, if you were to try to do this in React, this is technically, I think, like it's kind of like a little React application, right? These little like things in there. Anyways, but if you were to build this in React, you'd have the whole page inside React. You'd have a single div or some element on the page. You'd load your app in, and it would work, and it would look great. But then what you can't do is go in and change this. Like if I want to come in here now and edit my site, like if I want to edit the template for this, which I've done a bunch of times. Like let's say I wanted to just move, like I wanted to reverse the order of my cooking time, right? So like if I just grab that and move it, now it works, right? If I want this button to, I don't know, align, can I align this? Hold on. I don't know, if I wanted to put a paragraph in front of it, if I wanted to move it up here, like if I wanted to make changes to this doesn't affect anything that I'm doing with the interactivity API. This will just still work. So it's like awesome, completely interactive application, but also the flexibility of WordPress and being able to change your templates and move stuff around. I think it's awesome. Yeah, I don't know what I did there, but yeah, that's the thing. I think I'm gonna get rid of this logged in user. I'm just gonna delete this whole group. I don't think I want that. All right, save this. I don't want to change this in comments. Just the header. And then if I go back over here, I go, go to my logged in. So we go to conferences, and I click on this conference. You can see this thing I'm super proud about. I think it's a lot of fun. So what I did was, if you're if you have an avatar, so for example users, so I'm going to switch to this user, right? And I'm going to jump over to the site. So when you log in, because you're going to have to log in, and you go here, oh look, it's your face. So your avatar goes in there, and I put a little chef hat on you. I think it's a lot of fun. And I did this by filtering the built-in avatar block. I used a variation. So let's see. It includes blocks in here. What is this? Render block data. Right. Okay. So what I wanted to have happen. So with a regular old avatar block, you can set who it is. I think. Like so. This is the. I'm just gonna put another avatar block in here. So I'm just go avatar. Drop it right there. So your settings are that's interesting. Oh, so yeah, so you can link to the user profile. This is strange. I thought you could add the user's avatar. Oh, I know why. Okay, sorry. Let's not do it there. If I go into like what I wanted to have happen, it wasn't dynamic. So you could, so for example, on your, I'm gonna switch back to admin. If I go to like posts, I'll post, and I go to here, right? And I insert this avatar block. So you can see that like, this is gonna be the post, or you can hard code a particular user like this, right? Which is great. but I wanted it to be dynamic. I wanted whoever was logged in to see their face in there, right? And so you can't really do that easily, right? You can have it linked to this person, like whoever created this content will get their avatar in there, or you could hard code a specific user. So what I had to do was I had to do a couple of things. I had to, what's this? That's my rest stuff. That's not what I'm worried about. Okay, so this render block data filter allows me to get to the attributes before it gets rendered. I think. Is there a? And then so what I'm doing here is I'm checking to see is the core avatar block the thing, right, is set. If it's set and it's set to true, because I'm also registering a sorry, let me back this up. There's something else I'm doing here. I'm creating a variation first. So what I'm doing is I'm creating a variation of the core avatar block. I'm calling it logged in user. And I'm setting it is active is based on the existence of a new attribute called use current user. I'm setting some attributes of like true. I'm setting some default size, some border stuff, some highlights, just making it all kind of like the default look and feel of how I want. And then I'm filtering the attributes for this block by using the register block type hook. That's my filter name. If it's the core avatar, if the name is not, if this is not the avatar block, we're going to just return settings and move on. Otherwise, what we want to add, I'm going to define this use current user attribute with a default of false. So when it gets inserted, it gets the value of true. And then over here, nope, not there. And then in my includes my blocks, I'm checking to see, is this a core avatar block? It is. Is it set? Is the current user attribute set? Yes, and it's set to true, right? Then what I want to do is I'm going to return the attributes user ID, which is a built-in one, and I'm going to get the current user ID. And that's it. That's how it returns. I'm also I'm adding the chef hat by adding the chef hat by filtering the render block. I'm using the render block filter to filter the avatar block, and again I'm checking to see is can user use current user, and it's true, and then I'm just wrapping the existing block content. I'm prepending the existing block content with a div that holds that chef hat. That's it. That's all you do. Yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff going on in here. Is anyone going to WordCamp Asia? Anyone at all? Kevin will be there, but I don't think Kev's here right now. We missed Kevin! So if anyone's going, I'd love to hang out with you. Something else I'm doing on here that I'd love to share is I'm creating a virtual page. So when you go here and then you put results in the URL, you get this results page. Now this results page doesn't exist. It's not a page inside the there's no custom post type for this. There's nothing. It's what I call a virtual page, or I'm sure that's what people call it, right? You got to get flight tickets for, yeah. Are you going? Well, hopefully we'll see you there. I'm hoping to go there as well. I think it'll be fun. So where did I do that? Post types? I can't remember where I did that. Template include. Right. So what I did was I used the template include hook, and basically I'm checking to see if it's a singular conference and the pass, and so there's a couple of things that I want to do here. Wait, no, this isn't right. That's not right. Sorry. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not right at all. That's another thing I did, but this is the result. So what I'm doing is I'm adding /results to the end of the URL, and then I'm using template include, and I'm checking to see if the results is in the globals. Then I'm loading then I'm locating a block template, which I have in here. Template, just called results, and loading that in there. So the results, and what's great about doing this is that it is I can edit this. If I go to edit site, I don't know if it'll actually load. Oh, it did load the results page, which is great. So I can actually edit this in the editor, no problem. Now, what this is doing is I have a single block in here that generates all the results. It's just one big massive block. Where is it? The results and the render.php. I'm just basically adding I'm just creating a section, and then in my Vue.js, I've built a React application that just sort of does all this. This could be totally done with the Interactivity API, which might be neat. In fact, this would be a very, very cool thing where, because right now what it does, it'll do this, and it polls every 3 seconds or something. So if you're voting, you'll see that. Let me see if I can get this working. I've actually never tested this, so let's see. So I have another window over here, right? And I start to remove recipes. There we go. So that worked. Yeah. So we'll get. Let's see. This is. Yeah. So. It's polling. It's not very beautiful, but it'd be really cool that you can animate these things, and as like, you know, one thing, as this one started to overtake this one, it could move up, animate up, and stuff like that. You can totally do that with the Interactivity API. I just don't have the time to do it, but maybe that might be a good little exercise for a stream, is turning this into a series of Interactivity API things, because there's that. There's some directives that we can build with that. But anyhow, yeah. So I don't really have much else I was going to go over today. I'm going to get, like I said, into a bit more into the Interactivity API in the next few weeks. Block binding stuff is coming out. A lot of really cool things happening in 6.5. Going to be so many fun developer features that I think everyone's going to love. So I really hope. Yeah. So that's the plan. Does anyone have any questions, comments, concerns? Do you want to know anything about me? So much stream content. Yeah, it's great. So much stream content. I've also started a series of shorts on YouTube. So, you know, love it if you give me feedback on that. If you love them, if you hate them, especially if you hate them. If you hate them, tell me. If you love them, cool. But if you hate them, tell me why, so I can make them better. If you're interested in following the Interactivity API, there's a lot of really great stuff going on in GitHub. There is a create block package that will help you scaffold out a basic interactive block, which is really neat. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm at a loss. So I will open it up. Questions, comments? Come on, give me some. Let's go. I'm just gonna slurp into the microphone until someone asks a question. So about off-script question. Do you think the WordPress script should be output min versions or in readable files? Well, it does. So if you run the start command, you'll get like both in the same time. Why would you need both? That's just a general question. Like, is there a use case where you would want both? Because if there is, then let's chat about it. Because typically, like, your start command, right? 90% of plugins use scripts about to load min or readable files. Yes, they do. In development. So there you should be running start, because start will output those files with the map and everything, right? The only time that you use build is when you have a plugin and you're about to publish that plugin. I never use build. I rarely do I use build, unless I'm releasing a version of a plugin, because it's need checking it all himself with glass beer in the left hand. Sorry, Anatoly, I'm not sure I follow. I think you're being funny. I just don't have very good sense of humor. Yeah, so when you're in scripts debug, you shouldn't be running scripts debug on a production site, because that's loading larger files that aren't minified or obfuscated, that are going to, increase your page load. But locally, you should absolutely be running scripts debug and use the start command. Just don't bundle the start files with your plugin. Use build, then bundle it. I mean, you could do both. You could absolutely do both, right? Sorry, but imagine you have to build plugins and give them to the plugin. Yeah, so what you do is you use start until you're ready. And then when you're ready to build, run build, package, release your plugin, and then go back to start. That's so by my advanced query loop plugin, that's exactly what I do. When I'm building, it's just in start and it's running. And then when I'm ready to publish it, I have a custom script that I run. I think it's like npm run publish, and it runs build and it packages everything. Well, no. So what happens is when you run start, it builds everything out and puts it in your build. Let me show you. I'll show you with my advanced query loop plugin. Okay. So my advanced query loop plugin is shameless self-promotion. Go download it. It's lots of fun. But what it does, if I say, so if I run npm run start, right, and we look in the build, you can see I've got these three things, right? There's not a lot going on in here because I've just got a variation, right? But you can see that this is what's being output. I got the map file and I've got the assets, right? So, but when I go so when I hit npm run build, watch what happens. It removes everything, right? So that stays, but this becomes a much different file, right? And then when I run start again, npm start or run start, whichever you want to do, it will bring back the files again. So it replaces everything in there. And now in my package JSON, I've got a release thing. So I'm saying npm run build and then npm run plugin zip, and what these are both provided by the scripts package, but what it does is it's gonna build it for me. Well, here, I'll do it. So npm run release, right? So it's gonna build, and then it's gonna package a zip, which is right here, right? And then inside that zip, I've got everything in my build has got the built files, right? The stuff that you should be deploying. And that's all you need. Right? Yeah. So I have both, but the use case is different for each. Right? So yeah, like your local dev, when you're running local dev, you always use start, because if you use start, I'm trying to say that every plugin should be able to climb both versions. Oh, that's what you're saying. Okay, well then you can do that. Not everyone's gonna want that, but it's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. I just want to make sure that's how the API products work since ages. Yeah, but there's not a lot of need for that. If you're building like my variations plugin, if it doesn't work, I mean, having script debug enabled, like the thing is, I don't know, in my experience, and I'm not saying that you're wrong, I'm not even disagreeing with you, I'm just sharing experience, is that if there's a site on production, if there's an issue with something on the production site, rather than going and like setting, like we wouldn't set debug to true, we wouldn't set script debug to true, not on the production site, we'd have a staging site or somewhere where you could work out what the issue was, right? Because hopefully those would be parity, right? Yeah, and that's a lot to do because I think that with the introduction of Webpack, that's where that came from. When Gutenberg started using a build process that wasn't like Grunt or what Bower or any of those things, right? That really like because Webpack can do chunking and can do all this stuff that we're not really using it for, right? I think that came with the JavaScript community, injection of engineers and mindsets and best practices that came with the Gutenberg project, which I think is good in some cases. But yeah, it is different, right? So I think it's changing your mindset. I think that if your plugin, if you wanted to have a debug mode for your plugin, I don't think that's a horrible idea. I think you could have both. You could set a separate output path, like for example, like in your start. Where's my mouse? Like in here, you could set like output dir to like whatever. This would be dev, and right. And so then when you could have both and bundle it, and then based on you could check for the existence of script debug, and then pull the files in as needed, or just add them both in there, like whatever you wanted to do. You could absolutely make that work. I think that's probably going to be more of the example, more of the exception than the rule. I think most people probably aren't going to want to do that, and for the majority of people downloading and installing plugins, I don't think that's something that they would even know how to do. But for for developers, people who have clients that right now my employer makes me build non-minified versions and we use a PHP minifier for your PHP files. Wait, sorry, you're using a PHP minifier on JavaScript files? Is that what you're saying? JS/block files. Okay. Why? Is that just because that's the way it's always been done? Because you could demonstrate to your employer that Webpack will do an equally good, if not better, job of minifying JavaScript files, just with the built-in tools. I think that this is a case where if you went to your employer and said, okay, this is what we're doing now, this is the before and after, this is what we can do without any other additional steps, and show the before and after, and demonstrates time saved, engineering cycles saved, money saved. You do that, you'll get change. That's it, in my experience. If you can demonstrate, doesn't do what out of the box? Sorry, I'm confused. Are you WordPress scripts doesn't minify PHP? Is that what you're saying? Oh no, it doesn't print both versions of the JS files. Okay. Oh, less sound. Okay. I'm not sure I'm following because I feel like there's two things at play here. Yeah. You could configure scripts to output. Okay. Dead headset. You back? Well, okay. So you can configure scripts to output the start files to one directory and the build files to a second directory. You can do that. No problem. No problem at all. You could absolutely do that. I think you can do that. I think it's the output dir is going to be like dev, right? I think if I do that, let me try. npm start. Oh, crap. I have the name wrong. Just stand by right here. Scripts. Nope, not the one I want. I can't remember the name of the flag, but I'll find it here in a second. Where are we going, oh, Webpack source, no, output path is custom. So if you do output path, I'm sorry, I had the wrong name. Yeah, it's output path. Okay, so if we do output path is dev, right? And then you do output, so you run this again, we'll have our, I didn't save it. Standby. So we should have a dev folder in here somewhere. Yeah. So there's your stuff, right? And then if we do npm top npm run build, right? It'll go to the build directory. Now you've got your files side by side, right? Yeah. So you can do this. What you need to do, you just need to put it in different places, and then the thing you're going to run into is like your block JSON. If this is for a block, you're gonna have to tell it where to find its stuff, right? Like, actually, it won't matter because you'll have to, yeah. So I don't have a block here, but your block is gonna look at these things, right? It's gonna look and see where it is. So what you have to, okay, let me show you what I'm talking about. So what you're gonna need to do is, let's go back into my Twitch streams here. So you're gonna need to do something like this. Let me just find a block that I can show you. Here's one. Okay, so you've got your source stuff in here, right? And then so you'll have a build directory with a block JSON in it. It's gonna look for stuff, and then you'll have a dev directory with also a block.json in it. So what you're gonna want to do is in your register block type, you're gonna probably want to do something like if defined like scripts debug. Oh my god, debug. If it's defined and it's true, then you're gonna wanna look. You're gonna register your blocks from the dev. Although else, we're gonna register the blocks from the build, right? From build. That's probably what you're gonna want to do. What have I done here? Oh, that's okay. So, right. So that's going to be sort of your logic here, but you're going to want to, you'll need better logic than this. So all your blocks could be defined that way. And then once script debug is true, it'll register the build or the dev stuff, and then you'll be good. So you just have to go in and do that. That's what I would do. And then you have the best of both worlds, right? And then you can still bundle your stuff together, but you're not loading those much larger files. Because if we look at the file size difference, like what would the file size be? Open an integrated terminal here. Here you go, LA, like they're not small files. But if you do. Terminal, let me go npm run build. What's going to happen there? Right, and then we run it again. Like the files are significantly smaller, So that's, and if you do that with 20 blocks or whatever, right? It's going to get slow, right? Usually are used to do if. Yeah. So that's what you do, I guess. Enqueue file min.js. Yeah, that's totally it. That's the way that you used to do it. Like used to like script debugs, and it was like you create the file name. Remember, like you go like file name equals define script debug, or file extension. Maybe extension was like if that's thing, then it's like .min. Oh god, come on. min.js. Otherwise it's just .js. And then you'd be like, you do stuff like that, and then you'd go file name is file, and then it's like what file extension, like you do that sort of stuff. Oh yeah, I remember those days. We're not far away from those days either, I think. So you do stuff like that. Yeah, it's totally fine. What's that? Right? So you can do that. Kevin, when did you get here? Instead of the map files to the build output, doesn't need a separate loader. Don't need a separate loader. Yeah, it's just when you run build, it gets rid of the map files for you. Like if you're in we go npm run build. See, so if I run start in here, it'll give me all the maps and everything. But if I run build, it deletes them. All the maps should go away here eventually. See, so that's yeah no I know, but the build process removes them is what I'm getting at. Anyways, yeah. So if you wanted to do it that way, you could do it that way. That's one way to do it. No, you don't configure. Oh, okay, yeah. You can configure Webpack. There's lots of ways that you can do it. So anyhow, I can see use case for both. The thing is, you want to make sure that block JSON. Yeah, you can just have it not get rid of it. Look at you, Kevin, showing up here and telling me I'm wrong. Welcome aboard, Kev. Kevin! All right, well, that's it. I'm done. Kevin's come in here and insulted me. Just kidding, Kev. How you doing, man? Good to see you. No, it's not. I mean, it's not too hard to override the script's Webpack. It is built to be overridden. You can do that pretty. Let me see. Do I have one in here that I could show? Oh, come on There's Webpack. Shut your face. What post? What are you talking about? Is it? Yeah, so I mean, it's fairly straightforward to do it. You can just import the default config, right? And then you can modify what you need to do. Like just by adding webpack.config.js into your root of your project. Yeah, post-production. Thanks, Kev. I'm gonna go in here and edit, and I'll be talking, and it'll be Kevin's voice, but my face. Viewership will go up 1,000% if it was Kevin's face. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you could mess with the output stuff. No. Output, right? By doing whatever. I don't know. Kevin's gonna tell me what to do here, but so you can add this stuff in there, right? If you don't produce these, I don't produce these because if I did, it'd never get done. Because Kevin would be like, well, actually, my smug neckbeard. Anyways, yeah. So it is possible to extend the config and just extend the pieces that you want. Now, keep in mind the interactivity API is doing some stuff with the config. Anyways, I won't get into that right now. But yeah, cool. All right, it's noon. So I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about. So what we talked about today? We talked about Gutenberg 17.6. We talked about block bindings, which are chef's kiss. We talked about interactivity API. Cap, there's some really cool things coming with it. Oh no, it's Terrence. Hi, Terrence. Go away. Hi, Terrence. Why is everyone showing up just as we leave? All right. Okay. Oh. All right. What? Figured I'd pop in since I'm writing up a post. Get some developers some love. Developers. Oh, who's this? The Burl Ural. Love it. Figured I'd pop in since I'm writing up a post. Give some developers. Who's the Burl Ural? Do I know you? Are we good? We know each other, don't we? Burl Ural. The Burl Ural. I never learned to read. Oh, yeah, but have you tried the new HTML processor class? The tag processor? Is that what you're talking about, Terrence? Because it's awesome. It's very, very cool. I have tried it. Because there's the tag processor, and then there's the there's another class that's like more for not just for tags. It's very cool. Do I have an example? I don't think I have an example that I can show you right now, but it's some pretty neat stuff. It's what powers the interactivity API behind the scenes. So when you add these directives to your markup, it uses the tag processor to find those and then process things as needed. HTML tag. What's this? No. Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff. Sort of stuff would you find out what you need. So it's fairly well documented, I believe. HTML, the tag processor. The thing you have to keep in mind with it though is, maybe it's just in, maybe it's not in here. It's gonna go HTML tag processor. You can't really parse arbitrary HTML. Well, you can. Yes, you can. So what you do is here's the docs on it. So basically, what you do is you'll grab the tag and then you set the attribute, right? But then what you have to do is you have to generate the new markup. And where is that? Modifying remove attributes. There's a particular class function that you call. It's not in here. That's what the deuce? There's an example here somewhere. That's it. Get updated HTML. So what you're going to do is you're going to pass the in this case it's like a core list block, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to expand the code. You're going to pass the markup to there. We're going to get the next tag. This is the first tag, right? Or you can specify which tag that you're looking for and it'll get that one. And then you're going to add the class to that particular tag. But the important part is you want to get updated HTML. And that's going to be that stuff, right? And then you return it. So hopefully that helps, right? Kev, you can parse it in the sense of being able to get to something, but it's yeah. What? Yan Vallejo? Sorry, I had a question for you. What could be more important? Learning to use WordPress like headless with GraphQL and using frameworks like Next.js, or dedicate some time to create block themes in FSE? Block themes. I would say that block themes are on their way up, and I don't know about headless. I don't really spend a ton of time in the headless space. GraphQL, headless, there's definitely a lot of stuff going on in there. I think that one isn't necessarily better than the other, but I think there's probably a lot more use cases for block themes than there is for headless WordPress, because there's a lot that goes involved with headless. Yeah. I mean, Next.js is great to learn. Like it depends on where you are working, what you're doing. In my opinion, I think learning block themes is going to be a skill that many people are going to be looking for and continuing to learn for. And just modifying attributes. Good to know. I'm excited for it though. No more regex soon. Yeah, that's the whole point of this, is that there's no more regex. And you know, the PHP parsers for HTML, like DOM document and stuff like that, they're not is that it? DOM parse? I can't remember what it's called. It's not very good. Yeah. So yeah, you can't add HTML, but you don't. Well, the Burley Earl, you don't need to use regex to be able to get access to HTML. The point of this tag processor is that you can just ask it for a tag and it'll find it for you. Saw a great talk from the guys that built this thing. It's like they got into the weeds when it comes to like tags and how they're represented in various browsers and like bytecode. And it was very, very cool. Way smarter people than I am. Yeah, that's not hard though. You know. Anyways. Yeah. Cool. Kevin, you're gonna be at work at Beja, right? Terrence, are you gonna be at work at Beja? The Burly Earl, are you? I have to meet you. We have to meet. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm all about that stuff. Terrence, get out. Oh, apparently I received 100 messages today with Restream Chat. That's great. I don't know if you saw that. I don't know. Don't forget Bricks. Bricks. ACF. Bricks. Yeah. I will be in Europe. Well, I'm not in Asia or Europe. I'm going to probably both. So that's no excuse. Is interactivity officially part of the core next major WP release? Where can I find latest docs to learn about the stable version that's landing in the WP core latest release docs? Yes. So Jay Welly, the interactivity API will be part of 6.5, 100%. You can look. So if you go to the Block Editor Handbook, which I'm just going to open a new page because I can't find anything. You go to reference guides. We're going to go to packages, package reference. There is an interactivity package in there. This is where you can, we can't all be flown around by our company. Well, if your company valued you, maybe. The good old days. Anyways, yes, the interactivity API is here. The docs are actively being worked on right now. It's a big push from my team and the team that's working on it to ensure that these are like really good. We have some demos, stuff like that, because we're pushing this to make sure that it's very ready and very, very easy to get into. Okay. Well, Terrence, I value you. If I could flow you, if I could fly you, I would. Page of the warning. Is this still the place to learn, or is there something in the mono repo for Guten now? No. Well, this is the place to learn. So I'm not paying for anything. I'll buy you a ticket. I got $30 for you, no problem. So the interactivity API, the warning at the top of this page, Jay Welly, is that it is in Gutenberg right now. Yes, but it will be in core as of 6.5. And so this is getting merged into core. So that warning will go away. And we're I think what are we, release candidate 1 now, I think, for 6.5. So we're getting very close to like code's not going to change. So this, if you want to learn this, I highly recommend going here. This is up to date. The documents. Did you go to State of the Word? I did not go to State of the Word. No, I did watch it though. The documentation is going to be updated here. It's updated in the repository. These docs are actually built from the Gutenberg repository itself, so it's all the same place. You can learn from here. You can learn. Yeah, I know. You just wanted to say that. I didn't mean to hurt your feelings, Terrence. Okay, I didn't. I did not mean to. Cheers to you, Tyler. Anyways, Jay Welly, I hope that answered your question. Don't be scared to dive into this. This is the place to start for sure. I still owe you a t-shirt. Well, I'll give you a t-shirt when Kevin gets me a t-shirt. I need a black t-shirt that says I Heart Kevin on it. Black because I'm kind of a husky man and hides the rolls. Anyways, yeah. So I'd get into this. I wanted a special custom one. Maybe I get just one that says Terrence on it. Well, we'll see what I can do. We'll see what I can do. Extra small. What, for me or for you? Where is that? What, this t-shirt? Yeah. Well, I think you wanted me to wear an extra small shirt. Watch your ladies. Oh boy. This shirt, I got it from WordPress Swag Store. Isn't there a swag? Yeah, the Swag Store. Did I get it from here? I think I got it from here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I have. It's A8C, by the way. I got it from here. I have some swag. I have a. Yeah. This is where I got it. I think. I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look. Yeah. Oh wait. That's kind of like it. Yeah. Yeah. It's well, not the kids one. Oh, this is it right here. That's the one I got right there. That's the shirt. I think I love this shirt. I think it's super comfortable. So highly recommend. And then, you know, for Terrence, we're going to need to get, you know, kid size. There we go. Kid size 4. Just rip through the shirt like a beast. Can I buy you an I Love Wix t-shirt? No. Yeah, sure. Why not? Go ahead. I'll just I'll put it in the pile of other crap I don't use. Yeah. No, this is good stuff. I have a hoodie, an automatic hoodie that I quite like. It's very comfortable. Yeah. Oh, who was that? The Burly Earl. How you doing? Doesn't sound genuine. What doesn't sound genuine? But this thing? See? This is my automatic. It says automatic in the back, on the front, on the back. Can you see that? And it's got a little logo on it. And it's super comfortable. I really like it. Wapoos are like what WP mascots. Yeah, there's usually one for each. How much did I buy the hoodies for? Well, it came with the job. So there's Wapoos done for each WordCamp gets one. I've got can you see back here? I've got, maybe you can't see. There's one here from WordCamp Europe and Porto that's like a rooster. And then there's this one from Athens, I think, that they made. Is that from Athens? Yeah. And then I have these pins from WordCamp Asia and Bangkok. So, yeah. They do one for each. Oh, and I think that one was from WordCamp US. Little Wapoo running it's like pin collection, apparently. Yeah. Gotta go. Let the spa but jump in the jacuzzi and sauna. Smell you later, dude, in chat. Well, that's the most random thing I've heard today. You're at the spa watching a live stream. Awesome. Well, Terrence, it's good to see you. I hope you're wearing pants. Okay. Goodbye, my friend. My friend brags with that hoodie every time we go to wash our cars together. Oh, yeah? Yeah. Oh. Oh, I have this t-shirt too. I have this. That's what friends do. We support each other. I support you. I support you. Just put on pants, man. Put on the pants. I don't know. Whatever. This is a fun shirt too. I have this one. I like it. They're great quality. They're comfortable and I wear them like every time I'm streaming. So, although I have 500 of these shirts, so it's not like I'm wearing the same shirt every time. But yeah, anyways. All right, friends, it is 12:15 my time. Unless anyone's got anything else they want to chat about, I'm happy to chat. But I'm probably gonna drop off here, go grab me some lunch. The Burly Earl, thanks for the follow. I never mentioned that. Thank you, appreciate you. And we'll catch y'all later. I'm gonna be getting sort of a schedule of streams up on the meetup group, so you'll know what to expect from now on. But yeah, so thanks so much for hanging out with me. I'll chat with you all later. You're the best, and some of you I like, and some of you I don't. Just kidding. Terrence is gone. I can't say that about him. Anyways, whatever. You guys are all great. You're awesome, and this is for Kevin. And I will see you all later.